Hello, this is my honest review of a Harbor Freight chipper shredder. Unlike most reviews, I have not bought this thing, so I don't have to count and say how great it is just so I can resell it to somebody else. Now check here in this corner, on the upper left corner. You'll see in a second or two there a little dent and a little bit of a chipping. That's how he got his very cheap. He didn't pay full price either. Now, I would not recommend this for a place to use unless they have at least 1 acre, but less than 10 acres. We have way more than that. But Josue is the guy in this orange shirt. He is my cousin's neighbor. My cousin is in the gray shirt. His name is Carlos. And they came out to help us and show us how cool this shredder was. See how hard of a time he's having putting stuff in the top? Everybody does. This thing has bad flaws all over the place, and one of them is the big opening on top, but when you push stuff inside, it's a very small opening for the brush. And I've seen some bad ideas, like people removing that black guard off the top, or just circumventing it other ways. That's not cool to show other people. It could lead to a problem if someone chops off part of their hand. Of course, unless, well, let's also talk about what he's putting in. If it's less than 3 inches, it'll go in pretty easy. But depending on how wet or dry it is, makes different reaction to how the chipper shredder shreds what you're trying to put into it. So like, let's say it's 2 inches. If it's super dry, no problem. If it's fresh, it depends. Like, look at this branch that Josue is messing with in the corner. See how he has to clip off parts of it? You need it as straight as possible and without many little branches off the sides. And then, depending on how it was to begin with, you can shove it in. That's me in the black shirt. My name is Artisan, ARTI54N. Frequent Facebook and irate 4x4 website member. Now watch, he's going to stick something in that actually has well, it's kind of hard to see. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. But lots of little twigs and stuff, it'll go in there if it'll bend. And of course, if it's newer, it'll bend easier. If it's older, it might break it off as it tries to suck it into the machine. Notice how much harder it is sometimes to push this stuff in. Okay, we're working here with mesquite. Mesquite branches with lots of thorns on them. The problem with putting mesquite into this machine is it sits in that little lower thing, and it doesn't want to go in, so you have to push it in. And then when it grabs it, it pulls on it, and the thing is covered in thorns. So your hands are constantly getting scratched. If the receiver was on top, and you're putting the branches straight down, gravity would work with you. But you're not. So you have to keep struggling to push it in like this. See how he's pushing in and turning it and just having a hard time with it. It shreds it, and it shreds it pretty good. But mesquite and hands, I don't know. One of the questions people might have is, how old should a person be to operate this? Well, I have one nephew named Joshua. He's turning 13 in 2 days, on the 3rd of July. Happy birthday. Anyways, I think he could handle this machine and not get his hand sucked into it. The lower part, the tube is about at least 8 inches long before it gets to the sharp stuff that grabs it and spins it and all kinds of stuff. Shred it. But, I don't know. Oh, man, woman, or child, as long as they're at least 13 and have some street smarts. I have decided not to use any speed ramping and special graphics and stuff. Why not? big thing he's pushing in there. Ooh, ooh. Notice he has a gun on him. Lots of people wear guns at ranches in the outskirts of Webb County. I want to get a holster for mine. I was looking for a holster about 20 years ago and never liked anything I found. But now there's newer, nicer holsters out there that I like. And I'm probably going to start wearing my gun at the ranch instead of leaving it in the truck or wherever. Alright, my uncle, Carlos's dad, Carlos Sr., he has a different type of shredder, model, and make. I have not seen it yet, but I've heard a little bit about it. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I hear it's better for a ranch. This small little thing is not good enough for a ranch our size. But for the price he paid, maybe I would get one for that price. I'm not going to say what it was, but I wouldn't pay full price for one of these. One of the problems is that this thing cannot run for hours on end, supposedly. Josue says he's been using it like 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off, 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off, and this was our third 30-minute shift working with this machine. So we had already shredded a bunch of stuff, but this pile is just kind of huge, and it would take forever every day to shred. I would do it better than just sitting around doing nothing. I keep forgetting to point the mic at me. I know I'm going to have audio problems, but I don't care. I just don't care. Sorry. Green stuff. Let's see how well it eats all that green stuff. It's sucking it in a little bit, but you have to push it in and then get all scratched up in your hands. Yeah, we have mostly mosquitoes at our ranch. It's called the Tiendas Ranch. It's in Webb County, on the outskirts of Laredo, Texas. It was actually founded in 1876, but I'll talk about that later some other time, some other video. Let's talk about some other people's videos. I watched at least 25, 30 videos talking about how great this thing was. And I really believe those people said that so that they could sell it off to somebody else and go, yeah, it's great, and I'll give you a good price. I don't know why, other than that, people would talk so great about this thing. It is not that great. And there's videos out there. Let's talk about some of the videos. One of them talks about how to take it apart to sharpen it. I really don't think people should be messing with it. You should take it to some place, lawnmower or whatever, that knows how to deal with stuff like this to sharpen it. I also don't know how often you have to sharpen it. I don't think this one has ever been sharpened, and it's running pretty good. I'm not sure how long Josue has had it, though. And it's just running and running. Why give you a video with a bunch of sound of shredding? I'd rather give you all advice and let you all just assume it's nice and loud and stuff. I've never been a big Harbor Freight fan. I like the place for some stuff, but not all stuff. I almost applied there one time. I filled out an application but never turned it in because I just didn't believe in all of their products. I'd like to go ahead and thank everybody for watching this. I know I haven't put out videos in a long time. I've worked on them, but they weren't my projects. They were other people's projects and stuff like that. But I'm glad to finally upload something again. I got another video about the ranch that I need to work on next week probably. But thank you. Subscribe. Tell your friends. Even if you don't like my videos, subscribe anyways, because it helps me out in my head. Thank you, and good night.